Carpe Canis. When hunting up in North Texas, I was actually out hog hunting when this coyote came by, and I basically just sat in place and waited for him to come closer towards me. As you can see from the screen, I am using a Goyojo GRL335 thermal weapon sight, and it does not have audio, so I'm getting audio through my Recjoy voice recorder that I have strapped to the handguard of my rifle. As you can see, the image is wiggling around quite a bit. That's usually when I'm not actually on the scope itself. I'm doing something administrative with the rifle, or I'm using my handheld scanner. Well, I had turned away briefly, and then the coyote disappeared on me for a few minutes as it was in the high grass and I could not see it. I finally reacquired it, and it has actually come closer. It has taken notice of me several times, and you'll see it look over at me, but it does not seem to care that I am here. It may not recognize me as a threat. I'm standing right next to my truck. Maybe it's just seeing my truck. I don't know. Now, the Goyojo I've used for a few hunts now, and I'm supposed to do a full review of it, but this guy actually did an excellent review. This is Mountain Sport Air Guns. He went through very thoroughly and examined all the features of this optic, and he can tell you about all the advantages and disadvantages of it. He has a slightly negative bend to his perspective on things. I think this is a handy-dandy little sight. It doesn't do some of the things that it's supposed to do, but it has an excellent image for a 384 resolution scope. But check out his video. I'll put a link at the end of my video. Alright, so the coyote is still nearby. The wind isn't a problem. The cows are no longer in the background, so I hope to get a shot at the coyote with my TX-15 Multipurpose Carbine Enhanced from Lone Star Armory. And I'm going to be shooting some Federal Spear TNT 90 grain bullets loaded by Druid Hill Armory and the Starline Brass.
Brass Catcher by Tactical Brass Recovery.
Alright, the coyote's out there at about 50 yards. Finally returned on the audio again. Here we go. Single shot and the coyote goes right down and does not get back up. Now the Goyojo GRL335 lists for $850 at the current time on sale. And this is from Goyojo themselves. It's not a perfect scope. It has some software glitches right now. They are working to make those changes, and I'm going to discuss one of them that the Mountain Sport Air Guns guy did not find. But overall, this is a very huntable scope. I've enjoyed hunting with it and still do. Now the coyote I shot was a young female coyote, and the bullet entered the front of her neck and then exited out behind her right arm, and that was a lethal shot. Now the point of aim is kind of interesting. I was aiming off the back, but the point of impact was a bit low. Why is that? While I don't know this is necessarily true for the Goyojo, I know for other thermal scopes that the image that you see through the scope is actually a different channel than the image that's being recorded to your video recorder. And so everything that you see through the scope itself has actually been mapped in there, such as all the icons and everything have been mapped into the correct positions. And then that has to also be done on the recorded image as well. In this case, the crosshairs are not mapping to the correct position in the recorded image. And so it looks like to me they're being mapped to the original 0, 0 coordinates and not to the coordinates where I've moved the crosshairs from which I'm currently shooting. I hope that makes sense. I'll show you again on the next animal. Carpe Sus. Well, the next animal turns out to be a hog. And he's out there at about 160 yards. The wind isn't a problem. And he's certainly within shooting range, so I'm going to go ahead and line up my shot here at 160 yards. From the front gate, here we go. The shot connects and the hog takes off running. Number 2 shot missed. Number 3 shot missed. I think 4 connected. That shot appears to have connected as the hog goes into its spin. And now the hog is noticeably slowed down. Not sure if that one connected or not, but the hog finally collapses at 350 yards. The hog turned out to be a boar coming in at 170 pounds and was shot 4 times. The first 2 are shown on the left side. And here you can see the aim point for the opening shot, and given where my shots are impacting, I would say the green dot on the hog is where the bullet impacted. And this is where the bullet was recovered on the opposite side, just underneath the skin. Then I've got 2 more wounds back here. Both of these are also entry wounds. And once again, this round, number 4, actually was recovered underneath the skin on the opposite side once again. So in doing the math, 4 holes with 2 bullets recovered would indicate at least 3 hits and maybe a maximum of 4 hits, given that the 2 unattached entry holes were very far apart. I do not believe one of them was an exit hole, and hence we have 4 hits on the hog. Carpe sus, my friends.